appreciate you meeting with me.
Pleasure.
And I just had a few questions. What do you have going on here at this building?
Well, at this building, what we have going on is the dealership for small cars, semi-trucks, and trailers. Also, we have the body shop for cars and heavy equipment. We have the repair shop for also cars and heavy equipment. I call it one-stop shop.
One-stop shop.
One-stop shop.
And is that normal to have all those things in one place? I'm not really familiar with, how these kind of shops work. But I've never seen like an auto place and you said semi-trucks, right?
Semi-trucks, yes.
All in one place. Like, how does that work?
Well, that's the biggest accomplishment I had, during the years, and this was like one of the dreams to make it happen. I personally, I don't see them either, to be like automotive, including with the trucks into the same, into the same building, but being the size of the building, being so big, it accommodates both businesses, and thanks God, make us one of the largest repair shop in the Midwest.
How did you get to the place where you're the largest? Have you always wanted to be the largest shop? And how did you get there? So kind of two questions in that. Like, have you always wanted to be the largest one-stop shop in the Midwest? And like, what were the steps that it took you to get there?
Well, absolutely. The goal is to be the largest one in the United States,
okay.
Which I know there's going to take a little bit more time and a little bit much more work.
So in the country?
That's the plan.
Wow.
We're not too far out to do that.
Okay.
We are pretty close. Our property has about 150,000 square feet of indoor shop and, of course, showroom, which is going to be, of course, under construction. As you see, we just started a new project, which is probably like a $15-20 million project to reconstruct the entire building and entire shop, dealership, indoor dealership.
This building is going to be completely reconstructed?
Absolutely. I'm going to show you a few pictures of the idea. Definitely is going to be some changes, which I already make it during this weekend.
Oh.
So we're going to be one of the very few shops or dealerships actually in America who has semi-trucks indoor showroom.
So it'll be like a modern day semi-truck showroom dealership, and you're gonna in the back have that, because we can show video of how just enormous the shop itself is.
Absolutely.
Okay, interesting. But the 16 that doesn't seem like 16 companies. How you got so many companies going on?
Well, I have to tell you how I started 14 years ago when I came in America. I came actually right after Hurricane Katrina.
And where did you come from?
Romania.
Romania.
Yes.
What part of Romania?
Transylvania, Dracula.
Transylvania.
Everybody knows about that, right?
Okay.
Yeah, Transylvania, right in the middle of the country.
Yeah.
So when I came here about 14 years ago, I was coming doing the roofs. Right after the Katrina, I think it was like first week after.
Okay.
And after like a few months over there, I came to Chicago. I moved to Chicago. I relocated to Chicago, and working for somebody. After a short period of time, I opened my own company. The first company was a construction company.
Really?
Yes.
So it had nothing to do with trucks, cars, nothing.
No.
Construction, roofs. So there was a great opportunity after Katrina.
Was an opportunity for me actually to learn. It was an opportunity for me to grow. I mean, it motivated me. I realized that you're in a country where if you work hard, you can make it work. If you work hard, you're gonna be successful.
Did you see the destruction from Katrina and you just had a sense you wanted to help, or was it that you were already here? How did it work?
No, well, when I came there, of course, you feel it before that people, when you see them losing houses and don't even go for they lost lives over there. Definitely was a little bit like a shock for me, coming from Romania, where I was doing accounting and law school. So basically, getting in construction was something new for me, completely new.
Wait, so you were doing law school in Romania?
Yes.
Law school, and what was the other thing?
Accounting.
Accounting and law school. And you decided, you know what? I'm going to go to America. I'm going to help with the people in Katrina, learn a completely new job. How old were you at this point?
I was 19, young.
Okay, so at this point you were 19. What made you, what gave you the inspiration to do that?
Well, you see, in our country, corruption, it was and it is, unfortunately, very high. So I could not stand corruption. I don't like the idea to work with people like that. So I just decided to leave the country. I came to America, and my dad used to be a big businessman over there. So
what did he do?
Well, transportation.
Oh, okay. So you come from a family that was already working. Your dad was already working in the trucking industry.
Absolutely.
But you were doing accounting and studying to be a lawyer.
Yeah, law
school, and you were just fed up with the political system and just stuff that people had to put up with. You probably saw a lot of it with your dad having to deal with all the business.
Absolutely, every day you have to deal with that problem. So you say, once you get to a point, you say, you just want to get tired, and you better leave. Start like a new life.
Wow. So you came here. You started working on roofs.
Correct.
How did that lead to having all this with semi-trucks?
First of all, thanks God, because He helped me to get where I'm at right now. I mean, without His help, I will definitely wouldn't be here. That's number one. And number two, I had a strong woman behind me who gave me wings. She didn't cut it off, so she actually helped me out, to grow and push me from behind, to able to achieve the dreams, part of the dreams.
You were married at that time?
No, when I came, no.
Oh, you met her here, or
yes, I married 4 years after I came.
Well, so when you were working on these roofs, you were down
Louisiana.
In Louisiana?
Yes.
Okay. And you were just working on the roofs, and you're thinking, at what point, what came through your head that you were like, nope, I want to have what? What did you want to do next?
Well, I didn't have a direction basically back then because the hardest part was that I didn't speak English. So I came here with few words like bread, eggs, salt, and butter.
Those are all the words you knew.
That's about it, Okay. And of course, a lot of signs, that you're hungry and stuff like that. That's all I knew.
Mostly sign language.
Like
rudimentary sign language.
Yes, and that was one of the biggest issue we ever had. But I guess the motivation for me to succeed, made me to learn that language pretty quick. So I moved to Chicago, and I was working in construction for somebody. Yeah. Definitely, I was more like a helper, Yeah. And at one point, I say, I'm done. I have to do something on myself.
You were tired of being a helper. I mean, I'm sure there was.
You cannot grow,
You get something out of it, but it wasn't. You seemed like an ambitious person. Would you characterize yourself, or would your friends characterize you as an ambitious person?
Very ambitious person.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, that's for sure. You're right over there. So.
Well, I mean, looking around, I can gather that a little bit. Yeah.
So I did interior design school though and general contractor school in the same time. Once I graduated, I finished all these, both of them. After I get my licenses, I just start my own company. The weirdest part is that I started without even knowing how to do nothing.
You were just, I want to do this. You saw the vision of it. What was the first thing you did to start this company? You had a vision to have what was it? A trucking or a logistics company or?
No, back then I didn't have any vision. I had a vision to become successful, but not a vision of which company is going to be successful or how I'm going to make them successful. It was like, I just want to do it. I just want to make it.
And basically, what was the first thing you did?
Construction.
No, coming out of construction to make your own business, what was your first step?
Well, the first step, I went to the Home Depot. And because I don't know how to do nothing, right? And no, it's that orange book, thick book at Home Depot, which teach you how to change an outlet or how to do stuff. So I went there, and back then I remember I had 1,200 something in my pocket, and I have to pay the car, I have to pay the rent, and I have to pay the insurance. So basically, I was out of money.
Oh, mercy.
Yeah. So you start from scratch, and that book was $140 and some change.
Just like a how-to of all the different. Home stuff, or is it construction and
everything? Like remodeling, starting like that.
Okay.
And definitely I didn't know nothing, so I couldn't afford to buy the book. I was sitting on Home Depot 2 days in a row under the plywood shelf, reading that book, top to bottom. to learn it, you know. So
You're
that
like hiding in Home Depot, just reading.
Well, I was not hiding, but
not hiding, but
yeah, you know this.
out of the way.
I couldn't buy it. I couldn't afford it at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, I might afford it, but then I would end up with no money for no tools. I mean, think
You
about
had
it.
only
I had
$1,000.
I had nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, $1,200 and probably everything I have to pay. Like after I pay everything, I will left $500 in my pocket. So
It's hard to live on $1,000. Yes, yeah.
and not having any other job, not having other income.
Yeah.
You know, so no tools. I mean, definitely nothing. You know,
But it took you how many days to learn all that?
2 days.
2 days.
2 days, top to bottom.
So do you have some kind of like what do you call photographic memory or something?
I can say yes.
You're just reading fast. Are you a fast reader?
Yes.
Okay.
I usually picture the pages, you know, and I
Just flipping through it.
Flipping
How many
it.
pages was that? It's thick.
that's pretty thick, you know. I don't recall the pages. I just recall that an older lady cashier, she saw me there, and based on what I understand back then with my poor English, right? She told me that if she offered to buy it for me. I say no. If I cannot pay for it, I don't buy it.
And this was when you were 19, coming straight. How many years had you done accounting and
2 years and 2
lawyer?
years.
Oh, okay. Okay, so you started young. Your school
I started young. Yeah.
in Romania. How
Well, it's different education than here, you know.
well, how
classes.
young did they start there?
Well, you start at 6. You start like here, you know, but
But not for accounting and lawyer.
well,
type stuff.
no, because you see the high school there, you already do the trades, what you want to be. You know, you already start doing. You have accounting high school, or here you call it college. There is high school. You have accounting. You
Okay.
have, you know, so you go toward whatever you want to become. Of course, like after a few years into it, I realized that accounting is not for me. I mean, I love numbers, but in the pocket, not on the, not on the paper.
Okay.
You know. So
Yeah.
when I said, this is not for me, so I went to the accounting. My mom tried to push me toward law school. She pushed me toward there. Then, in order to become a judge, they asked to bribe, you know, to give the stamp.
That was your first clue.
That was
I'm
the
like, I'm out.
I'm done. That was
Okay.
yeah. I mean, you know how it is. If you became a judge and you have to bribe someone to become a judge, even if you pass the bar exam and everything, and then you have to bribe, you said, hold on, make no sense, because how I can represent the law if somebody poor is coming?
Yeah.
You know, you're always gonna be compromised by money. So you say, you know what, I don't want to be compromised. I just leave. That's it.
Wow. Okay, so fast forward, you've learned all this about the how-to from the book. You've got it all just stored away in your mind. What did you do with all that information?
Well, I got the first job. It was like a very, very tiny, small bathroom. Even now I remember. It was to a Romanian guy house apartment. I know it was an apartment, probably studio. It was so small that you could put just a toilet and really like a very small sink.
Okay.
So he gave me, somebody recommended me to do that job. Definitely was the first job.
What did you have to do?
Replace the tiles.
Okay.
And think about it, you know, with $500 in the pocket, you can say not to pay all expenses. I could afford to buy just like a bucket, you know, a mixer, and a cutting tile machine, which was like $260. That was very expensive for me back then. You know, it was the cheapest one I could find, but was super expensive for me.
Yeah.
So that's how I started. Well, after I finished the job, I get paid, obviously, you know. The guy never called me back. I knew it was good or bad, but he never called me back.
Okay.
So I hope it was good at that point, you know. So that's how I started, you know, going on the steps of the construction businesses. And then we end up building houses for like $7, $10, $15 million houses.
You were building houses for
Yes.
15 minutes, but
At one point, not right now.
how many years did it take to get that point?
Probably like, I would say 3 years.
3 years. So you were
2 years.
21 years old, 21 years
22,
old,
basically. At that
22.
point, yes.
22-year-old building $15 million houses.
Yes.
Did you have a crew? How did I'm trying to picture this.
Yes, I got the crew. Obviously, at that point, I had a lot of people, you know. But the nice part was that was a guy who helped me out a lot, you know, who recommended me to other people, you know, and that's
Kind
how
of
I
took you under his wing.
took me under his wing. You know, he was an older guy, and he told me later that he saw a lot of potential into me. He saw that I'm very like ambitious to do the stuff.
Yeah.
So he helped me.
Okay.
You know, I don't know what was at the end the reason, because
Like a mentor.
but mentor was a big mentor for me, and
Okay.
helped me out through this. And obviously, you know, during the 14 years in America, I meet a few other people too, you know, who, I mean, in the dealerships, I meet a few very, very nice guys that live in Wisconsin, you know, very nice people. I mean, they're like father and a brother for me. I mean, they still tell me what to do. If I have a question, they will not hesitate to give me an answer, and they will help anytime. So.
Well, so that seems like, because that was a question I was going to get to, is like, what do you sort of point to as the cornerstone of your success? And it sounds like having these mentors in your life to support you, mentors and your wife and friends. Do you feel, this is what I'm hearing, let me hear it, I want to know from you, what do you feel like is your cornerstone of what has really helped you succeed when you felt like, I don't know if I can do this?
Well, before anything, as I told you, it was God. I mean, as much as I love my wife, and my friends and stuff like that, I mean, God was the one who was next to me every single decision. When I made it, I was always praying if it's a good decision or not to make it. And I made them, Obviously, in life, I made a lot of mistakes too, like everybody do, bad decisions, on a job. I mean, I'm not talking about, bad stuff. I'm talking about the jobs, So that was actually the turning point when the first mentor told me that if you want something in America, you have to work for it. But you have to work, not just work hard. You have to work hard. So he actually pushed me toward that and says, I don't see nobody not making it in America. And he was basically like a picture for me that I see where he is.
And he had made it.
Oh, he made it big time.
Okay,
yeah, big time. And knowing that how my father used to work, when I was back in Romania and I see him, how he hustled and stuff like that, I became a hustler basically. So that was actually the spark to say, okay, you have to keep going. Don't stop and you're going to make it.
What do you mean by don't stop? Like, what was there a point in which you thought, I got to stop? I got to do something else?
Well, obviously, Judah, I was at the beginning, I told you the English was a big barrier. Mm-hmm. So you have the English young, and going to get 20, 30, 40, $500,000 jobs, up to like 10, $50 million job, for like a 23, 26 years old guy, wow. It is a problem a little bit, It's more like a trust problem,
For them? Or for you?
For them, because you have to understand you're working with people with money, right? Mm-hmm. And then they look to you, you look like their kid,
like a 19-year-old
kid.
I don't know if I would try. How did you get these guys? How did you get people to trust you at 19?
Well, I had a little bit older beer back then.
Okay.
A little bit older. That was one of the tricks, I had to do. It was no other option, So right. I wouldn't shave that often.
So you kept the full beard, but there must have been something in the way you followed through. I don't know, something.
Well, recommendations, at that point, when I started doing the biggest project, was most of it word of mouth, and definitely, doing a good job for people, they still gonna call you for it. Definitely, I did some jobs from other people, who I remember was an Italian guy in Chicago. I did a whole house interior only in that house, and he didn't pay not even a penny. So
you did the whole interior, you didn't pay
nothing.
He ripped you off.
Ripped me off. I lost probably like $200,000, $300,000 over there. There was. I don't even recall because at that point I was so pissed. Yeah. You know how it is. But I told the mentor I have it. He says, this is just like a test for you. Forget about it. Move on. Because being young and stupid, when I signed the papers, I didn't sign it like, I didn't read it like I'm doing now. Get it on a attorney table, check it out, being a big project, So I thought that everybody's fair, everybody's nice,
Right.
Well, I found out that actually he screwed up all contractors working there for him.
Everybody.
Okay. Yeah. So, because we meet there, so we talk, so we contact each other, say, hey, do you get paid? Nobody get paid, Probably had a bad financial issue, or that was his lifestyle of doing business.
Maybe he's an evil person. Yeah.
I passed over. I did a lot of. If you call me, that was one of the bad decisions.
Okay.
So.
The bad decision is working for him. Maybe not doing some research on him or something like that.
Not research. Not. You never thought that if you're trying to doing good to people, you never think that the other people is going to do bad to you. So what you tried, I was supposed to take the contract very nicely to show it to my mentor, or not even, just show it to the attorney, and having, write up and validated, go ahead and do it.
But you just got a handshake and sort of a naive approach as a young kid.
We made an invoice, but naive approach. It's like you go right now to Home Depot and he signed you like a $10 ticket, Okay. But it was like hundreds of thousands, tickets. So, pretty much that naive, which of course I learn from my mistakes,
Yeah.
and that's how it works, in life.
Did it bring you to Chicago, or was that in Chicago when you were doing that kind
Yes,
of
that
thing?
was in Chicago.
Okay. And so when you were about 19, 20 is when you moved to Chicago?
Yes.
And what brought you to Chicago?
Well, I don't know. European, a big community.
A European community support system here, maybe?
Yes, it is. We have churches, a lot of churches. So was a good support, when you came here by yourself, Yeah, I had my brother living here, obviously, so I moved here because he was living here. But, the church was very important, coming from like a Christian family, church is a support for you.
Yeah.
And you want to be there, especially when you have nobody else near you. I mean, you have your brother, but still young too, so you have nobody, So
Yeah.
is that
Having
community?
that maybe a social network too of community that can support you,
Yes, absolutely.
help you
And coming
feel
young,
more comfortable.
Yes, and don't forget, Judah, coming young there, you were like 20, right? You need to have friends. I mean, obviously, the friends you had back then, they are not the friends you're looking right now. I mean, it's different kind of friends,
Yeah.
right? But there was like more, you want to have some fun too, you want to get out, stuff like that. So definitely, being a Romanian community, English being a big barrier at the beginning, you want to be somewhere where you can speak your own language a little bit,
Yeah.
with people. So.
Okay, so fast forward to today, you went from interior design, construction, having your own construction business. Where's that business now? Or what happened? How come you are sort of over this huge, more of a mechanic type business?
Well,
and dealership.
As you mentioned before, I grew up with this in my blood, right? I grew up with the cars, yeah. But about 9 years ago, after I get married, 10 years roughly, right after I get married, I say, you know what, let me try to see how the trucking works too. So I bought one truck, excuse me. I saw it bringing good money, right? I mean, like a businessman, you're looking to what's bringing to you, not whatever you spend. So I said, okay, let me try a second one, third one, fourth one, and therefore on,
You just started buying trucks.
I started buying trucks basically. I started the first trucking company about 10 years ago, not knowing nothing. I mean, I don't know what means MC number, DOT, brokers. I was like the dumbest guy in the world, But that's me, which I always like to try, and I like to.
But that's more than trying. You bought how much was your first truck?
Well, first one was probably about like $70,000.
$70,000. And how old were you still like in your 20s, or was this? Well, yeah.
No, I was in 20s. That was like 10 years ago, so wow. 24.
24 years old.
Almost 25. Yeah, right after I get married.
You took some of the money that you'd gotten from the construction and interior design. Is that what you're saying? Interior design business. Yeah. You put it into a truck. Like, you didn't know anything about trucks. What did you do?
Well, I start Google it. Like,
you're just Googling.
Google exists,
Yeah.
I give them credit for that. So I start Googling, and try to, of course I get screwed up a lot, but, until you don't hit the threshold, from the top of the door, the jam, you don't see the threshold you go over,
Oh, yeah.
So I have to hit it, and I realize, okay, it's a threshold, let me step over.
Kind of a trial and error type thing.
Yes.
Did you have a mentor? Was your dad around to kind of say, hey, this is what I learned about trucks? Or
no, God, that's it.
God.
Praying, just make it work.
Your faith is a big part of everything.
It's the biggest part.
Biggest part.
Absolutely.
Did you find a church right away?
Yes, a Romanian church, yeah.
Is it still one you're part of now?
Yes.
Okay. Interesting. So, did you grow up as a Christian, or?
Yes, I grew up as a Christian.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And that's sort of been the thing that you come back to, like, that fuels your faith, that fuels your decisions?
Absolutely.
Has it been a hindrance in any way? Have you met like people that have that haven't done business with you because of your faith or anything like that?
I never had people tell me probably upfront, but you know what? I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm at the point that, actually I was like that all the time. If I have to say my point of view, I will say it. You like it, you don't like it, it's a free word. If you want to do business with me, I do it I get paid for a service. Yeah. If you want somebody else, good luck. That's about it.
You're very upfront and, hey, this for that.
Absolutely. For me, if it's, I've got, right now we have 360, 370 employees, right?
360 370 employees right now.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So we have Muslims working for us. We have Chinese, we have Europeans, we have white, black, whatever color you want it.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it doesn't matter.
Right.
It's important that the people to want to work and to don't be like the millennial style. Like trying to stay back and get paid for. I want them to move on and get paid for.
Well, as a hard worker, you probably as a hard worker, it's probably difficult to see somebody be like lazy, right?
I don't call them lazy. I don't think so. It's a lazy person in America. I just call them laid back.
Laid back.
Laid back.
Okay, so the laid back mentality sort of irritates you.
It's not that irritate me. It's the fact that I always tell the people, okay, you want to do something in your life, you're gonna hustle. If you don't hustle the thing to happen to you, I mean, to make it work or to make it happen for you, you're never gonna be successful. I mean, you will stay to the same level. I mean, you might make probably like a $20,000 paycheck. Come on, God bless you, and you're good. Or you might make $2,000. You're gonna be satisfied with that. But more you have, you want to achieve your goal. I mean, to achieve a goal, it doesn't happen just with a paycheck. It happens with a lot of hassling, a lot of work, a lot of not sleeping nights. A lot of like ideas, a lot of pain, a lot of failures. So it's part of the game. And I always tell every single employee when I hire them, I say, you can be an employee or you can be part of the family. Like I call my employees part of the family.
Yeah.
Why? Because it's only one way to make it: working.
Working hard.
Working hard. If I go to North Avenue sitting with my hand like this, I might make $100 a day, but that's not a dream. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What was your dream? So when you bought that car for $70,000, was it your dream to have a facility like this?
Was a trial. Was actually the beginning of the dream.
So you spent $70,000 on a trial?
What did they know when you were young and dumb? You make a lot of mistakes. But it was not a mistake. I call it I was making a lot of money.
Maybe taking a risk.
Taking the risk. I'm a very high risk taker.
Tell me more about that.
So when you try to open a company, I think it's a risk.
Yeah.
And think about it. When you throw 70,000, okay, I made a lot of money in construction, so I had money to throw into it. But just let's go back to the construction when I opened the construction company. Living without a job, I mean, on $1,200, $500, put it this way, after all the expenses left in your pocket, and no job, no security, no nothing. I mean, everybody told me that I'm the biggest idiot guy in the world.
Really?
Everybody. It was no
even
friends.
Your mentors? Or?
No, mentor was coming after.
So I want to transition a little bit into the idea of how, as you get bigger, how are you helping the community around you? Do you feel like you are reaching out into the community and using this wonderful place, to better your community?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, starting from donation, all the way to hiring people with special needs. I mean, hiring people, workers and people with special needs. I think so. We help a lot toward the community. We give toward the community back.
So like you do hiring. So like the actual hiring itself is helping the community.
Absolutely.
Hiring people from the community and then hiring people with special needs as well.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we do that. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I mean, everybody deserves a job.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's great. And as you go forward, what are some of your maybe some of the dreams you haven't totally shared with the world yet? Some of the big dreams that the next step.
The big dreams you never share them because other people can take it. So
they won't understand, right?
They will not understand it,
What is the next step that people are going to say you're crazy?
Well, already people tell me I'm crazy, so it's nothing new in the world, under the sun, But, I guess, once this building getting done, which already a lot of people tell me that it's too much for this, I say, well, I think so. It's a good opportunity, and having as a headquarters, being one of the largest repair shops, you have to take care of the business. So my dream right now is probably to accomplish this and to finish the building. We're gonna have truck wash, car wash. Gonna have service repairs for truck sales, whatever.
So truck wash as well.
Truck wash as well.
I don't think I've ever heard of a truck wash, like a semi-truck wash.
Well, semi-truck, yeah, it is, but most of them are out of the city limits, So we are gonna be into the city. As well, we're going to have car wash. We're going to have probably 8 to 10 bays for detailing cars, 2 bays for detailing trucks. I mean, that means A to Z detailing.
Kind of taking your interior design, your love for interior design into trucks and cars.
Absolutely. I always mix the whole experience I have from other business. I always try to put it toward.
Well, I've noticed that your facility is very clean. Does that come out of your personality? It's cleaner than most facilities I've noticed. It's shiny. What's that about?
Yes, I mean that was actually rule number one of my life. I said any business I would do, it has to be the cleanest possible. Has to have a good look, and definitely will be basically. I told you work with a lot of insurances, and everybody's coming to the building. They say, "Wow, this is the cleanest we ever been."
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to keep it, and I like to keep my name like that.
Okay, so it comes directly out of your personality.
Out of my personality, yes.
Okay, and I think that's a good thing to attract people to. Yeah.
Well, it is. If you provide a good service to a customer, you want to make sure you keep the environmental very good for your employees as well.
Yeah.
So definitely, we have a lot of people inquiring for jobs because of the environmental too. They see where they're working, they see the team, they see it's a very friendly team. It's not like necessarily like a corporate mentality. When you do your job, I don't know about you. We know every employee by name.
Okay.
I mean, every single employee, I have them names. I don't have the numbers.
That's that photographic memory of yours. You just know their names. Once you hear their names, it's in there.
Absolutely, because to every single time when we hire somebody, I am part of the interview crew.
Okay.
I usually, before they even get approved, they have to have a face-to-face meeting with me.
Okay.
So I will memorize who they are, memorize their name, and
awesome.
Knowing who I talk about when we have to talk something in any meetings.
Yeah, interesting. And so with that, does that apply? I guess that makes me think of the people that you've hired. Do you have partners? Do you have, what has been the process to let people into your vision, into your dream?
Well, you see, at the beginning I had some partners, and partnership is kind of like a marriage into the business. It's very hard. You can be successful or he can drain you down. I got some of them which a little bit drain me down, I can say that. But I got, as right now, I have only one partner between all my companies. There are more than 16. 16 is what you know about, but there are more. They keep growing. So I got a partner, right now, Serge, which is a very nice guy, trustful, guys. So,
maybe I could interview him as well.
Whatever you're gonna want to, you can have him as a part of your interview.
Okay.
But definitely, he's the only partner I have into one business. As I said, having a partner is a good thing, but having a good partner is the hardest part. Because in this world, everybody is just about money, money, money. It's true that at the end, everything is about money, but to make money, you gotta spend money. You gotta know how to spend.
You gotta take risks.
You gotta take risks. And mostly people, what they want, they just want to make money with no risk. I mean, with no risk, I guess anybody can be my partner in America. Everybody wants to be a partner.
Anybody can be a partner.
Everybody can be a partner like that.
Yeah, so. Interesting. So in as you've gone through this growth as an entrepreneur, having a partner, the different partners, do you feel like what have you looked for in a partner, or not just partner, but like somebody who's really helped you in your business, like people that you hire that you trust, that kind of thing?
Well, for me, the school they have, it's equal zero.
You're not looking for a certain kind of education.
No, education. Definitely on the technician, you're gonna educate them if they don't have an education into it. But I don't look to a specific education. Of course, they have to have the college. To have some school. But I'm looking for some degrees. The reason being why that you're living into a world when to do a school, it's pretty much mandatory and everybody has to have a degree. But I realize that when I look behind all this, I see that most of the people with a degree, they're sitting home. So, and most of the people with a degree are actually the hardest employee. You deal harder with them. Yeah. Why? Because they assume, they think that they know everything, they know better any single business. So let's, for example, my dealership. There are like hundreds of thousands probably of dealership through the United States, right? So everybody in the dealership has his own rules, own
Like
way of
guidelines,
making money. Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So
Best practices.
so you have to integrate the people into your business.
Mm.
Definitely need people with a little bit of experience. That's going to be a plus, but the degree for me is zero. So that's why, for me, train the people when they come here.
Yeah.
You look at him, you see what he wants to do, and normally, like, having so many employees and passing through a lot of employees, obviously interviews, you already know what kind of people they are when you meet them. So the first 5 minutes makes a difference in when you hire somebody.
So you rely a lot on your like first impression, intuition into that person.
Absolutely.
Interesting.
Absolutely.
Something that just came to my mind is, what would you say to somebody who's like coming up, somebody, a 19-year-old Ovidiu? What would you say? What would be the best advice that you could give him?
Be a video. So the best advice would be, for them to don't leave the guard down.
Don't let your guard down.
Don't let your guard down. Fight for what you want.
Okay.
It's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
But the only thing in America, it's happening only if you work hard. If you're sitting on the side, nothing's gonna happen with you. You will not be successful. As long as you fight for it, doesn't matter what you do. Even if you are an employee for Crown Point, if you wanna, you see, for example, my company is you go up per performance, right? So doesn't matter where you're at. You can get a good paycheck. You can get a good mini business, if you want to call it that way. Be part of the company if you hustle, if you are a hustler and you want to make money.
Yeah.
So I think so. Anybody in America can do it. America is a country where they give opportunities to everybody. But opportunities, that means you have to work hard, pay your taxes, pay your your duties, and pay everything you have to pay, and be on the business 24/7. I mean, when I started first time, I was working until like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
So I would have like only like 2-3 hours of sleep and start over. Multiple times I was sleeping in the office, and the office was located like 10 minutes from my house, and I was sleeping in the office because I said the 10 minutes going home.
You might miss
10 minutes
something.
coming back. It's 20 minutes. You can miss a call, which is very important. I mean, I was so into it,
dedicated
to make it happen.
Wow. And do you feel like that dedication, have you been able to, like, has it paid off in the sense that now you're able to sort of rest and not have to do so much? Or was that just part of your personality that even today you're still like doing long hours?
Even today. I mean, most of the time I come before everybody, and I leave like at 9-10 p.m.
You're here first, you leave last.
For sure, we leave last. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm that kind of guy which likes to get their hands dirty. I mean, I like to touch the stuff. I like to work on it. If it's any question, I like to go to work myself on it too.
You're the kind of boss that wants to be involved in getting your hands dirty.
In other words, I want to be a leader, not a boss.
Interesting. Tell me, what's the difference there? What do you mean?
Well, a boss is just a guy who just dictates you what to do, and that's it. And the leader is the people who's taking the people after you and show them, put their hands on it, be part of the employee, be part of the...
Showing the example of what to do by doing it.
By doing it and be next to him. I mean, is any question, they don't have to go... I mean, absolutely, especially when I'm not here, I'm super busy, they have to go to the management to get an answer. But if I'm in the area, I would like to go myself and fix it and explain them why you have to do this way, not just tell them, hey, do this way because I say, So they have to understand why I asked to do one thing in a certain way.
Interesting. And you still today you work on semi trucks and cars?
Absolutely, that I love that.
You love doing that.
I love that. That's for sure. Absolutely, I enjoy it every day. It's a different day every day.
Even with dressed like this, or
well, I've got the closet, where I can wear the clothes too, right? Okay. So I like to when the time permits. Absolutely, my time is super. It's very busy right now, but definitely I like to do that. I mean, again, I like to do things because even if you do the same repair, it's always a different truck, a different engine, a different way to get to it.
That excites you, the newness of it.
It's exciting. You do something new. It looks like you do something new every day. Even if you change the same tire, a tire is a tire. That's it. But like the sound of the gun is different when you punch to this tire. It looks like you have that feeling. It's like you have to do it with pleasure. I mean, definitely in life you don't do what you want to do. You do what you have to do. So if you do it with pleasure, I mean, if this is what I have to do, I decided to do it with pleasure.
Nice. So you decide to want you decide to want to do what you have to do.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Love what you do.
Absolutely. Even if you don't like it, learn to like it.
Very interesting. I like that.
Learn to like it.
Okay.
I mean, honestly, I don't like to work until late hours, right? Because I've got kids, I've got a wife,
Okay.
But I love it, to do it. So thanks God I have a wife. She will understand that. I'm trying to be home as often as I can, but she understands that, and I'm very blessed that she's working with me in the office. So we still see each other every day,
That's good. Well, last question is where do you think, I mean, you're so ambitious, you're so driven and dedicated. At what point do you say, okay, I've gotten to the highest point and now I'm just going to retire and maybe just kind of play golf or something? I don't know.
I'm retired every day, but I still have to work. I don't think so I'm going to ever stop working. I love working, unless the health is not going to let me do it. I have time for fun too. I have time to go to to my yacht in Florida. I got time to go golfing.
You got a yacht in Florida?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
wow.
Yeah, I'm blessed with that too. So I'm doing time to go there. I'm doing time to go golfing and stuff like that through all this other stuff. But I'm that kind of, my personality is kind of like, you gotta work.
Yeah.
I mean, I think so. If I'm not gonna work 1 year, you're not gonna be like a 7-year-old guy, like
really?
Rusty, and stuff. Yeah. I'm not saying the 7-year-old guy is rusty.
No, I know what you mean.
But, I mean, the difference of ages, makes
Yeah.
me like rustier,
So, but you're saying like work is just part of who you are. You don't feel like you're ever going to stop being there, working on things, dedicating yourself to growing.
No, I will never stop. I can't. I mean, it's not about money. I guess I'm built like that. I can say that, probably a wrong engine, into me and drive me like that.
That's a good engine. Yeah.
It's a good engine, but
yeah.
That's me. And I don't know. I told you probably I'm gonna slow down a little bit. Definitely I slow down. But I'm not gonna. I will never stop.
Did the 19-year-old Ovidiu imagine having a yacht in Florida?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was part of the...
I don't thought it's in Florida back then, but yes.
Wow.
I mean, so far, everything, I was planning, of course, because you cannot plan like having like such a big corporation until you start something. Then you see you envision the future of it, So, when I started, I said, okay, I want to have this, I want to have that, I want to do this, I want to do that, Definitely takes time. I mean, to get this building where we're at right now, I was trying 7 or 8 years ago with a landlord. I mean, we took over now. I mean, next year we took over the complete of the property. I tried for like 8 years until 2 years ago when he finally said, okay, I give it to you, So for 8 years I was trying just to move in as a renting it, leasing it.
Okay.
He refused,
Yeah.
and his word was, you're too young.
You were too young.
Yeah, he don't thought I'm gonna make it, So I understand, what I'm saying. But 2 years ago, I thought, okay, what you have to lose,
Yeah.
So
well, 8 years later, you're 8 years older.
8 years older, that's true too. But still, even then, he told me I'm still young.
Really?
Absolutely. And definitely, he's a very nice guy. But at the end, I got it. And usually, what I plan, I'm trying to accomplish that.
You don't take no for an answer type thing.
No.
You just you set your sights on something.
You have to make it happen,
and you just have to.
No matter what,
failure is not an option.
No, I mean I fail a lot. I mean like
I don't know.
5 years ago.
Do you fail a lot?
Absolutely. If it doesn't fail, I'll be too blessed if I don't. I mean I'm very blessed. I mean I have more than I need and more than I probably ever envisioned. But then I failed. I mean like 5 years ago, 6 years ago, I was about to lose everything because everything was going south. I mean. It was like incredible how bad was going.
Yeah.
And then my wife actually told me that, hey, if you go down, at least go with a heads up. So invest the money into the business. So I throw all the money I had, all of it, into the business, growing the companies, and then
full steam ahead,
and just go out. From there, we just blow out, the entire business. They start working like perfectly. So again, she gave me the wing, she didn't cut me the wings. That was a good.
That's an important thing to use.
Oh, absolutely.
Having a wife that never and people in your life that didn't cut your wings off. You've always been somebody who's wanted. So, but did you ever fly too? It sounds like you might have flown too close to the sun, right? There's the myth of Icarus who flew too close to the sun.
Yes.
Do you wish that somebody had cut your wings off at a certain point?
God cut the wings when He thinks He needs to be cut.
Okay.
You know, so
you leave that up to God.
He did multiple times. Yeah, he did already multiple times. So I said, okay, this is not for me. I mean, I had like probably in the last 6 years, probably 5 years, there's like 10 businesses, which I have about 9-10 businesses, which I have to close them down because it was not working.
Didn't work.
I mean,
But isn't that sort of normal for an entrepreneur? They say you have to fail like 5 times. You have to fail a business 5 times or 5 different businesses before you get the one that really works.
well, it's the failure was not an issue, for me, because I could make it work at one point. By the time I have to invest into that business, comparing with what money can bring me, at the end, I say,
Not worth it.
I rather not worth it, I mean, yeah, probably good worth it for other people, but for me, it was not worth it. It takes me like 10 hours a day, just that business, and produce me this little,
Yeah. What's the point?
What's the point? What's the point to work for free? Just for the sake I have 50 businesses now, it doesn't add up to me that way. So, I just either let it go or, I just say, this is not for me. I sell the businesses or whatever I do.
Cut your losses.
Yeah, I can say I lost. Probably lost in a few businesses, like a couple $1 million, but that's about it,
Wow. Okay, $2 million for me is a lot.
Hey, when you lose, you lose. When you lose, Judah. You don't always make it.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
keep that in mind. I think that's good advice for people they're trying to make it. Like from spending $200 on equipment to do interior design to spending $70,000 on a truck to hey, a couple $1 million on a company that may or may not work. Didn't work, whatever. It's like the risk that you have to take. Seems like that's important to growing as a business.
Absolutely. If you don't take the risk, you're not going to make it. 3% of the, 97% of the people, they're afraid to take the risk. That's why they are working for the 3% of the people who take the risk. That was a proverb with my first mentor told me. Don't forget that.
He said, okay, so how does it go? 3% of the people?
97% of the people who are afraid to take a risk to have their own company
are
working for the 3% who took the risk.
Yeah, okay.
So that was always in my mind, and
Yeah.
it's still sitting in my mind, that it's a risk. Definitely when you have money now and you risk it, you're risking a little bit, but you still risk. Money is money.
Yeah.
When you risk for $500, it's the same risk like if I'm risking for $10 million now. It's still a risk. Yeah, different money, bigger company can make more money, absolutely, but still was a big risk.
Yeah.
Think about when you have $500 in your pocket after expenses, whatever.
Yeah.
You could left with zero.
Yeah.
Zero. Definitely zero. That's
There's almost
risk.
a bigger risk when you were spending $200 on that equipment when you had only $500 for
yes,
food.
Yes.
Yeah, interesting.
Or until you find another job,
Right. For the income. Yeah. Well, it's been great getting to know you, Ovidiu, and appreciate you taking time to talk about your journey.
I appreciate for the interview, and also I want to wish to everybody who listen to us. I want to wish them happy holidays. May God bless you for the Christmas and for the New Year to give you more blessings. Don't leave your guard down. Hustle a lot, and it's gonna work out.
That's good. Well, thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Happy holidays to you too.
Happy holidays.